introduce to you Andrew. Andrew's come over from Adelaide today to talk to us. Andrew has been working as a scientist and business professional in the field of workplace drug testing for 2 decades, with many years of both laboratory experience in Australia as well as extensive international understanding and knowledge of global workplace and point-of-care drugs abuse testing. Andrew has presented and published papers on aspects of workplace and point-of-care drug testing in both national and international drug testing, forensic and clinical toxicology association, in addition to being a representative of the Royal College of Pathologists Quality Assurance Program Expert Advisory Panel for Toxicology. Andrew said this is your chance.
I'll take it. And I'm going to talk quite a bit about accuracy and precision. And David, that's not a shot of your terrible guess at 20 minutes. Mate, that was I got all this to say now. Yeah, that's right. Look, I think it's David, you touched on a couple of points about the media. I'm very glad to be here. I'm frequently characterised as anti-pill testing. That's the way I get to about it. That's one of the reasons I'm here today. It's largely because I'm not a politician. I'm not going to talk to you at all about it's condoning drug use or it's wrong. I'm going to talk to you about some of the analytical procedures. And if we are going to talk about pill testing, all of a sudden it becomes, I want to get away from the question of should we or shouldn't we, to how is this actually going to work? What's the granularity going to look like? Let's go into some of those grey areas and see what it looks like. Now, currently, in the media, it's pretty black and white. They've said I think some of these quotes are pretty unequivocal. Okay, pill testing saves lives, that's quite fine. We need to check their pills so that we can be sure they're safe. Okay, we'll come back to that one. That's from the Royal College of GPs. That's right. In the political space, we have the leader of the Greens Party. Again, pretty unequivocal. Politicians will have blood on their hands if they fail to use pill testing. And at the other end of the scale, we have the Victorian Police Commissioner saying, I'm dead against pill testing. If I'm a member of the public, it's like choosing sides. There's not much black and white in there. I'm going to go into that grey area. So what are we actually testing for? And this, I think, it comes down to it's a fundamental issue. A lot of people I speak to believe that the reason that people are dying at music festivals is because there's something in their drugs, right? It's a contaminant, it's rat poison, it's something in there that's causing them to die. Look, I don't know, but going on for 3 years, and I should add, by the way, in terms of how frequently David and I have been having this conversation, I was working in the lab with Mike Fry in 2001 when we identified that DNA, and we were excited, and I was a baby scientist then, and you were a baby doctor, and that's the extent of our relationship. There was just a friend moving around that. So, yeah, and people say to me, if these pills contain lots of contaminants, that's not the issue, right? The issue from what we understand in the public domain at the moment, as everyone else has, the deaths we've seen this summer have been MDMA. David is far more qualified than myself to talk about the clinical implications of MDMA toxicity on a 45-degree day at a music festival where you're having elevated body temperatures, dehydration, people aren't consuming enough water. That's the real danger. Now, David acknowledged that and mentioned that some people choose to take less drugs or do something else with it, which would help. But MDMA is going to kill people in summer, and it's going to kill people in summer after that. That's just how the drug works in an environment of that. And that's really what I'm saying. I mean, we need to really look at the evidence. Is there some way that pill testing is going to change that behaviour? One of the deaths that the coroner reported, the individual took 7 to 9 pills at the bolus dose. So that's such risky behaviour that it's unlikely to change. And this is the point I think is really, I'm frustrated by this fixation by the media to a certain extent, but I'm obviously a participant in that. But if you look at the number of people that die at music festivals, it's a fraction of the number of people that die in Australia. Most of the people dying in Australia from drugs are not dying at music festivals. I mean, the Pennington Institute itself has published quite a bit of high quality data on it. People are dying at the pub, and people are dying at their friend's place. People are dying in August, not just in January and February. Those 5 deaths have attracted an enormous amount of attention. And each year it seems to be attracted more and more. But that's not where the disease burden lies with this drug consumption in Australia. but we're talking a lot of obviously that business. So I'm, as I said, not here to talk about the politics, I'm here to talk about the science. So what I've done is I've chosen 4 technologies or platforms, if you like, which are in wide use internationally, and which is a reasonable amount of evidence, or indeed have been used here in Australia. So first off, reagent testing. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. It is used in some European countries. The main problem with reagent testing is it's really only telling, if you buy an ecstasy test kit, you can test it whether there's ecstasy or not. It's not going to tell you if there's something else nasty lurking in the background, really. It's certainly giving you some knowledge, and as a self-test kit, it's probably worthwhile, but I don't know that anyone, David, please correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know anyone in the food testing debate in Australia is strongly advocating using immunoassay or reaction testing. Fourier transform infrared, this is not your bit of kit, but it's the same piece. Certainly a substantial step up in terms of what we're able to detect and the sort of reliability and accuracy of the information. We don't have time to spend too much time talking about the positive and great information. The other thing that's very important here is training requirements are pretty moderate. You still need to have a chemist, or my choice of words is an analytical chemist or a toxicologist looking at this to give you the results, but it's not essentially a complicated kit to use. Problem is it doesn't handle polyprotein mixes very well. Okay, an analogy here, if you like, is it's going to give the response that's the most prevalent there. And if you like, it's like a car headlights driving towards you with the high beams on. That's what gets all the attention. The person riding the bike next to it with everything lined properly is not going to see it. Okay, that's something how this works. So, rough figures, if you've got less than 10-15%, especially if it's a related type, and EMA is perfect case, this sort of technology is going to really struggle to differentiate between a lot of MDMA and a small amount of EMA. Paramethoxy, amphetamine in small doses, one possibly. And when you get lots of drugs present, and by lots of drugs, I'm not just talking this stuff, I could be talking caffeine, glucose, all sorts of other stuff, it really isn't going to give you much more information than the top company. So, not bad, not. Now, this is one of the main issues, this is where David and I disagree, is FEIR is not going to be able to tell you about the dose. Maybe get some indication of purity, and this is another thing that especially in the media debate, is getting caught up. People say, oh, we can tell it's about 70% MDMA. 70% of what? 70% of 50 milligrams or 70% of 200 milligrams? And that's very different harm potential. So that's one of the drawbacks of FEIR. And for the newer drugs, it can only really match what it knows in its library. And this is true of all technologies to a certain extent. But a lot of the new psychoactive substances, which we have seen slowly increasing in Australia, nothing like the level in Europe yet. The newer, more dangerous drugs is where it tends to be the least effective at detection. So then, next up again, this is HPLC chromatography. Now we're talking at a laboratory instrument. This is the size of a large printer or a photocopier or something. This is really intended for a lab, but it's now getting to the point where we're getting better. We have lots of different drugs present. We're going to be able to see through them, and it's quite effective at that. And it's also quite good at providing dose. Okay, so still semi-quantitative. It's not giving you exact dose, but it's certainly giving you a pretty good indication that there's a little bit or a lot. There's quite a step up now, though, in terms of the experience and the expertise required both to run this instrument as well as interpret the results. And this is as David mentioned as well, Austria and Switzerland, checking. Talking to some of my colleagues there, they said it has been around, but it's faced some problems. And I can't reference that other than the email I had from a colleague of mine, but it's done less than 2,000 tests in the engineering. So there's lots of problems. These things don't like being bounced around, and they can do it, but it hasn't been extensively utilised in those countries. And then we go to the top end of the scale. This is QDOF, time flight mass spec. It's about $500,000 worth of equipment. Exceptionally high levels of training and experience are required for this. It can't be put into a mobile fan. It needs to be entirely vibration free. It needs to be in an air-conditioned environment. There's a lot of waste streams and everything else. But we're now talking several days to get a result. So what I'm trying to say is, at one end of the spectrum, we can use reagent tests, which are going to give us an answer in 5 minutes, but are certainly extremely unreliable in terms of making life or death decisions. Here, we have very high-end equipment, but it's going to take several days to get a result. Even then, you still struggle to identify all the new drugs because some of them are slow. They're literally unknown. We have known unknowns and we have unknown unknowns. And all pills are not created equal. Now, this is a great segment from Canada. There's British Columbia as well. And these guys, this is actually a pill making machine that they see from the Desktone lab. And what they've done is they've got some sugar which they've got pink, and they've used that sugar as an analogy for fentanyl. Because the North Americans having huge issues with opioid overdose. So what they've done, I'm not sure how well everyone can see it, but this is the pill that's come out of this machine. And the little pink dots scattered through there are representing the fentanyl granules, or in this case the sugar granules, distributed throughout the pill. Now, here in this sort of 5 o'clock position, if you like it, the clock face, there's quite a concentration of pink dye, whereas around here at 7 o'clock it's completely white. So this is a consideration. I know David, you mentioned that you're talking about scraping. The problem is you can't consume the whole pill. There's no point in saying, I want to test my pill, take it, and I never get anything back. But we do need to consider that when we're talking pill testing, to get a reasonable chance of grabbing what's in there, you do need to get a fair slab of that pill. There has to be a fair chunk of it, maybe a quarter, maybe at least that sort of thing. Or maybe transversely cut to it, something else. There are a number of decode considerations. I don't have time. I don't have 90 slides to finish. I just want to talk quickly. I know you guys have got some legal advice on this. From the point of view, if you were to start talking about this as a significant issue, look, my information, I stand to be corrected, my information is try and get personal protection, professional indemnity to provide this as a service to practical interests. I sort of talked to a few people about it and they said there's no chance you do it without legislative support. Okay, that's a killer. At some point, you could have some sort of government indemnity or something along the lines if you want to get indemnity. Costs, it's really going to require some sort of subsidy or funding from NGO or government. This is energy control in Spain charge €70 a test. What limited testing there is in the US is about $100 US a test. Looking at some back-of-the-envelope calculations, we were trying to look at it, say, a HPLC mobile lab. You're talking again sort of $100 each test. That makes it pretty prohibitive. And it's for free, which is accreditation standards. So the existing laboratories, such as ourselves and such as some of the other labs that will be doing this to a certain extent, are extensively regulated. It's extremely tight and very stringent accreditation. If we're going to start doing pill testing, at some point you can't have Andrew's magic pill testing box and don't worry mate, it should be fine, I'll give you the answer every time. Because if it becomes a matter of music festivals have to try and reduce their costs, they'll go for the cheapest option. And if it goes to the cheapest option and there's no accreditation, there's no standards, you're going to end up with cheap results, basically. How we go about doing that, again, it's some sort of framework. And staffing, the other problem is, last weekend, the weekend before, there were 4 major music festivals around Australia on the one weekend. Even if we had developed a mobile laboratory, how does the thing get around? Who gets to choose which festival it goes to? How many people are there in Australia that can do both the analytical point of view and the discussion? So these are not reasons to not do field testing. But if you're going to do it, we have to answer these questions. But at the moment, I don't have the answers to this. And so some of them require legislative support, as I said, and some of them are technology. So the other thing is, as I said, the quicker and faster you go, the less accurate. But let's actually think about that for a minute. What does that mean? Let's say we're going to do 10,000 music tests. 10,000 tests at music festivals in Australia this week. Go to horses and summer. And let's say our on-site technology that we're using gets it right 95% of the time. There's lots of factors there, and I'm not going to go into positive predictive values and anything else, because I don't think it will be as high as that. Let's say it is. That means out of those 10,000 tests, when you're sitting down discussing with the individuals about what this means, at least 500 of those 10,000 tests, what you're telling them about what's in the field is wrong. You're telling them there's one drug and it's actually something else entirely. You're telling them there's no drugs present when there actually is. You're telling them that it only contains MDMA when it actually contains a number of other things lethal tobacco. Now that's okay, because at the moment, I guess, people don't know anything, but that does need to be put into the context of, as we get more data, that you are sometimes going to be using on-site technology, you are going to be sometimes going to be something that is incorrect. Whereas lab testing is much less likely to do that, and it takes several days. So how do we square this up? Both David and I have referenced several of the European models, and I've got a couple of references at the end, and I'm happy to make the presentation available to everyone. There's quite a bit of data on it, but I have no idea what the acronym is. If you can pick it up, you could be more than happy to try for me, but it's recommended just about it. So the concept of a central lab is as I said, it's not going to work at a music festival where everyone's running around buying products. But remember, like I said, the disease burden of this issue in Australia is not music festivals, it's across the board and it's all year round. So, yes, it can be used as a backup facility if you find something that looks particularly nasty, essentially. But the other issue is, for people that are perhaps, and the model that works well, especially from my understanding in the Netherlands, is people are sending in their drugs on Monday and Tuesday, and they're anonymously getting the results on Thursday, knowing that when they're going into the weekend, they've got a very accurate and reliable amount of information on them. Again, anonymously supplied to them. It tells them what's in the drug, it tells them the dose, it tells them exactly what's going on. Other thing about this is it means that in real time, you're able to provide information about what drugs are out there. They're not every drug, of course, and it's only a sample. But you imagine if you're going to a music festival, knowing that there are these particular compounds likely to be out there, the paramedics can be aware. And also, I'm very interested you say that the loop is coming to Australia. Because certainly the sort of information that the loop provides in the UK is very detailed. They will put out a alert saying there is a blue pill with a yellow triangle by it, there's a blue pill with a triangle on it. It contains ketamine at a very high level. It's active in the northeast, in the Newcastle area. If you see this drug, you should be very concerned about that. As opposed to the, I'm sure some of you saw in the media, the music festival put out, there's a dangerous orange pill in circulation. I mean, what possible use is that to anyone? Right, you know, no information, no whatsoever. You can actually put this out, and you can still, in my mind at least, marry the two, square the circle. Somebody can go into a music festival and say, look, my sample is number 1, 2, 3, 4, I've got it on my phone, and still go through that exact process that they spoke to speak to individuals, speak, this is what's in my drug, what do we need to worry about? That's a possible model. So how do we go? Well, I'm not anti-pill testing, but I'm loath to suggest that pill testing somehow, you can check your pills to make sure they're safe. I can't agree that if you're consuming those drugs, that there's some sort of pill testing which is going to make those drugs safe. Or think about that, I guess. I'm not convinced that politicians are doing this for just sheer bloody-mindedness. I think they have general concerns, and that's a debate for politicians, but I think, look, I'm also not dead against pill testing. Again, so I'm not agreeing with anyone on this page. I'm going to stand here and disagree with everyone. Contrary individual that I am. You won't be able to read those references, but that's it, and I am done.